kids, my name is Steve Irwin. Trevor Baker wrote a book about me called Steve Irwin, The Incredible Life of a Crocodile Hunter. I was born on February 22nd, 1963 near Melbourne, Australia. My parents' names are Lynn and Bob, and they both loved animals, especially reptiles. I grew up around reptiles and learned to love them at a very young age. For my 6th birthday, I got a 12-foot python and named him Fred. In 1970, when I was just 7 years old, my mum and dad decided to move to Sunshine Coast, where they founded a new kind of zoo, one with only reptiles. It was lots of hard work, but I learned all about reptiles by helping my parents. I learned the proper way to handle dangerous animals like snakes, and that they will only bite you if you are scared. I was always very hands-on with the reptiles, and handling them just came naturally to me. When I was just 9 years old, my dad took me on a mission to catch and relocate some crocodiles. My dad decided I was old enough to wrestle with myself. It was an intense experience, but I loved it, and it was the beginning of my croc hunting career. I continued to catch crocs and even deadly snakes to add to the zoo's collection. I couldn't wait to graduate from high school to do what I love full-time. Starting in 1986, I spent 18 months traveling and rescuing crocs. I lived all by myself with my only dog, Chili, for company. Many of the crocodiles that still live at the zoo today, the ones that I caught, are relatives of them. People couldn't believe that I was catching all these crocodiles by myself, so my dad got me a video camera and I would prop it up to my boat or put it on or tie it to a tree. In 1991, my parents retired from the zoo and left it in my hands. Scientists hadn't done much research on crocodiles since because they were considered so dangerous. So I started a program to track them in the wild and monitor their behaviors. Even though I love crocodiles and love to study them, I prefer to see them in the natural habitat. 1991 was a great year for me. I had just taken over the zoo and met a beautiful Sheila named Terry. We had a common love for wildlife, and we married just 8 months after we met. A croc rescue interrupted our honeymoon and became our first televised crocodile adventure. This was the beginning of my fame, and I used it to educate and promote conservation. Family was always very important to me. I was very close to my parents, and sharing a love of animals with them and Terry meant the world to me. Terry and I had our first child on July 24th, 1998, and we named her Bindi, so after a crocodile and our beloved dog. I loved her so much, and we were always together. On December 1st, 2003, we had a baby and named him Robert Clarence after my dad. Both of my children we brought up around animals and film crews. When she was just 8 years old, Bindi got her own TV show where she sang and danced and talked about animals. My fame began to skyrocket, and I became a global star. I did my best to spread the word about animal conservation and do some charitable work for people as well. Tragically, in January of 2006, I was killed by a stingray while jumping off the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The entire world mourned my passing. It was a sad day, but I know my legacy still lives on through my children and the Australia Zoo.